wò àbọ̀rù bọ̀yé ẹ̀yin babaláwo. Èèyàn ìbọ̀rù bọ̀yé ó yàn.
Caro, good morning. This is Oluo Fakolade of Idinkai Temple. Thank you for joining us for our Ile Juba service. We have a special service today. Thank you all joining us. We're trying Instagram again, so we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you all for joining us. Shout outs to y'all. So this morning, our temple topic is answering the call, loved and beloved by the Irunmole. So that's what we're talking about today. As we join in, I want you to let us know where you're from, send us a shout, and give us a comment. So like and share. The information is going to be very valuable today. So let us begin with morning prayers. I hope the folks on Instagram can hear us properly. We've had some sound issues before, so let us know how you hear us. If it's a little shaky, we'll just switch back to YouTube and Facebook. But let us begin with morning prayers. Abushi Shiaboto. Mojuba loro, mojuba leda, mojuba loro mare. Mojuba bobo rumle, mojuba bobo male, mojuba boy tembili soloro mare. Mojuba Miss Mother Dear Lucille Dennis Murray, Mojuba Doris Hall, Mojuba Base Mary Senior, Mojuba Fidelis, Mojuba Clifford Aaron's Watkins, Mojuba Talia, Mojuba Zion, Mojuba Nago, Mojuba Clifford Holmes, Mojuba Clifford Watkins, Mojuba Jenny Dunn, Mojuba Katie Bradley, Mojuba Oscar Bradley, Mojuba James Owens, Mojuba Benino Chino, Juan Vilmo, No Block, Dennis Agustin Vilmo, Mojuba Boboy, Timbili Somari, Ashe. Adiogbe. He who hears people's pleas and sets to please. He who hears people's pleas and proves please. He who talks to people and shows up to talk is completely absorbed. He who hears people's pleas and sets to please, name be fire. He who hears people's pleas and proves please, name show dire. He who talks to people and ensures that the thought is completely absorbed is the name of Orishanla. Orishanla, you the person most human beings. The person most one cannot fail to impress one. The striped frogs winsome's rainfall. The bullfrogs winsome's downpour. It is whatever that accurate your poem. He who tells earth whether it accepts. Whatever the big rat tells earth is whatever the earth accepts. All what I tell you, Father, please accept and improve them. Autorete, to show gratitude upon gratitude, is all about gratitude. To display benevolence upon benevolence is the all about benevolence. Whoever I show gratitude for yesterday's benevolence, such a person, when I receive today's gratuity, these are decorate C5 to the 401 in Roomland. We're going to make your prayer, daughter of Rishubuji. These are also decorate C5 to Orumila. We're going to make your prayer, daughter of Rishubuji. These are also decorate C5 to the 401 in Roomland. I'm going to make your prayer, daughter of Rishubuji. I'm grateful. I see today's gratuity. Ultra-rete, we are very grateful. I share. Awa dupe. Awa bure, awa dupe, awa bure, adupe, ana awa bure, tunebo, olodumare, awa dupe, awa bure, awa dupe, awa bure, adupe, ana awa bure. Tunebo orihani awa dupe awa bure awa dupe awa bure adupe ana awa bure tunebo Irunmole awa dupe awa bure awa dupe awa bure. Adupe now to neighbor Lagoon Orisha. Olodumare and the divinities, we thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. We ask for forgiveness. Tutu. Pounded yam without soup can be very difficult to consume. These will decorate C5 to the. These pounded yam without soup can be very difficult to consume. These decorate C5 to the child of our Beneregun. He was full of bad character. to use bad attitude, have prevented it from entity God's domain. Now we come to solicit on behalf of Tutu. We've come to beg on behalf of Tutu. How many children does Ifa have that he will cast from out? Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Oh, Rumila, we beg you, please hear our prayers. Please forgive us. We call on Ogbe Alara. Ifa, please ward off all death, ward off all sickness, ward off cases and controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, and outright fights, ward off witchcraft and negative energy from us. Bring forth to us all the good things of life, long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, stable home, peace of mind, victory. Ogbe Alara, Irunmole said it is time to sleep. I echo it is time to sleep. When the day dawned, I met Irunmole in the 16th room, where he covered his head with a flowing gown full of lice. He was wearing a dress full of bloodstains. He was snoring heavily. They told him that a delegate from his estate arrived. Irunmole inquired about what the delegate brought. They told him they brought 2 rats swift and running, 2 fish graceful in swimming, 2 birds swift in flight, and 2 goats with big livers. That is not enough to wake him up. I admit my ignorance. Please educate me. Motuna Karaba, I hide myself in your bosom and survive. Motuna Karaba, the dog king masqueraded beast Agbadron repeatedly. Dog king masqueraded beast Agbadron repeatedly to perform rituals because the children. You are the leaders, we are the followers. Leaders are the ones who show the followers wisdom. Irunmole told them to get alligator pepper, to get coconut, to get bitter coconut, to get alcohol. The Akapo got the alligator pepper, got the coconut, got the bitter coconut, and he got the alcohol. That is right. Now he is fully awake. Irunmole, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of compassion. It is with eyes of compassion at the heavenly stars. Use and look at the stars below. Irunmole, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of help. 1, 2. Secure great wealth is set your eyes at the heavenly stars. Use and looking at the stars below. Irunmole, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of help. 1, 2. Secure good spouses. Set your eyes my spouse you use and look at me with. Irunmole, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of help. 1, 2. Bear many children and such good eyes a child should use and looking at a well-decorated plate. Before long, not too far, join us in the midst of all irate in life. Ifa, please grant us all of these things. Ward off the sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, and outright fights. Ward off the challenges from us. Ward off the obstacles, the issues that keep us from being who we need to be, who we are, and actualizing our destiny. We ask that you would bring in its place long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, longevity, prosperity, victory over adversity, peace of mind, joy, healing, all good things of life. I call on you. I ask that you would support us, bring us honor and protection. Emma kamimene ama, Emma kamimene ano, Emma kamimene adelokun. Etamo letori Ifa alonimi, ebora timpanini, eni banami. Àwọn àti Ifa lelejo. Ifa, help us, protect us, keep us safe, give us honor. Also, move my ego out of the way. Move anything that I'm dealing with or issues that I may have so that we can hear a word of Ifa. We can hear purity this morning. Oshetra, tiny of the feet of Tubu, the stripe of a chameleon, is not big enough to be his headgear. Had it been enough to be his headgear, I would have taken it home and adorned my head with it. These Ifa's decorations to Aruela when going on spiritual mission to Jebulan. We can't look at things and pay money. We can't start to make it rich. We can't Oshearuela. Oshearuela is a good owl. Osheatura. I kick in Bagisa. I track sharply against the true Cassify for Irunmole when he received Iba and I share from all of the mine. If in our world tells you you should be wealthy, surely be wealthy. I kick it in Bagisa, the mouth of ones, I zibana share, the mouth of an award. If no one says you have joy, surely joy. I kick it in Bagisa, the mouth of an ones, I zibana share, the mouth of an award. If no one says you have victory, surely victory. I kick it in Bagisa, the mouth of an awards, I zibana share, the mouth of an award. To esin, may it be so, surely shall it be. Àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi o, àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi. Bọ́bọ́n tí mo bá màmá wí o, Irunmole ó bà, Ifá ó bà o, àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi. Tí mo dúró, tí mo súre, tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀, tí mo súre, tí Mimo kule, timo sure. Mimo joko, timo sure. Ire timo shu oritibo. Oriani la rure yani oriani la rure yani modulo mi fa amori oriani la rure yani bobore chansu ifa oba lorun àti bachaju ifa oba lorun ó ṣe àrú ìlà ìfàtìbó. Olodumare and the divinities, please come and support us. Please ward off all death, ward off sickness, cases, controversies, ward off fights, litigation, losses, and outright fights, witchcraft, and negative forces from us. Bring forth to us long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, peace of mind, joy, victory, and all the good things of life. Help us to be fortified and assist us in achieving our destiny. Ashe. Aboro, Aboye, Aboshishe, Aboto. Thank you all for joining us. We shout out the folks on Instagram. Hopefully, y'all can see us and hear us. Hopefully, you can hear me properly. We had some issues with Instagram before, but hopefully, y'all can hear us. Shout outs to the folks on YouTube and Facebook. So, folks, let us know where you're from. We thank you all for joining us. Aboro, Aboye, Aboshishe, Ia, Nico, Titilari, Caro, Egun's child. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Ifa Muwagu. Thank you for joining us. Aboshishe, Aboto, Aboshishe, Aboto, Jojo King. Thank you. Also, Annette, Aboshishe, Aboto. Thank you. Maisha Walker Dean. Aboshishe Agboato. Thank you. Ashe Aojola Robin. Aboshishe Aboto. Thank you for joining us. Yo, y'all let us know where you're from. Send us a shout out. Tell us where you're from. And also what I would like folks to do is like and share. Please like and share this. If you like the things that we are talking about, the things that we're saying, please share it with others. Let other people know what's going on here at Edinkai Ifa Temple. So today is going to be a special message, as they all are very special messages. But this temple service, I've entitled it "Answering the Call," loved by the Irunmole, or beloved of the Irunmole. And when we think of this Ifa, what I want to say, when we think of this title, I've broken it up into 3 sections, because one thing that I feel in Ifa is that many people have these challenges of like knowing when they're blessed, knowing when they're cursed, knowing or not even knowing when they're cursed, but not knowing what it looks like when a person is beloved of the Irumole. And in terms of this, I want to talk about what it looks like when someone is favored by the Irumole, what it looks like when someone is out of favor with the Irumole, and what it takes to get favor by the Irumole. So, in terms of that, I think oftentimes there's so many ways that a person can seemingly be out of favor with the Irumole. But what does it look like when a person is quote unquote not blessed? Oturupon Ogbe says, Oturu, the calabash on his back, and Oturu strapped keg as we were strapping Mogbe. So also was Mogbe strapping the calabash. Akala, when did you come into this world? Before you began to give birth to children, Ifa's message for Adabi, reproach, who is the elder sibling of Epe, curses, travelers to Ipo and Ofa town. Can't you see that Adabi, reproach, is more profound and more powerful than any curses? What is Ifa saying here? So there is an echelon of people that when we think of this idea of, oh, I'm cursed, sometimes it ain't about being cursed. Sometimes it is your crop. Sometimes it is something that you've sown into the world and you have received. Ifa says, Adabi. Adabi is reproach. What is reproach? Reproach is disapproval. And in Oturpon Ogbe, it says that reproach or adabi is much more profound than any curse. What is that? What does it mean? In terms of adabi, adabi, how it works is if somebody has done wrong to someone. Let's say somebody has caused problems in your life, just like in a way of they stole something valuable from you. They murdered your loved one. They did a crime to you or your loved one. Your eleda and even yourself, you might say nothing will go well for this person. Nothing will go well. And it's justified in the sense that this person has wronged you and they have wronged your spirit, and you might have uttered that thing. In that regard, it's kind of the same thing when we look at the movie The Color Purple, and Celie looks at Mister and says, "Ain't nothing you do gonna go right till you do right by me." She put that thing on him, and that is adabi, reproach. And Ifa says that is held up. So when you do wrong, when you do evil things to people, when you conduct yourself in a way that is out of balance, out of alignment with not only your destiny, but out of alignment with what is correct and right in the world, there are spiritual forces that will keep you from achieving destiny, that will keep you from actualizing the things that you say you want to achieve. So, what being not blessed or what not being blessed by the Irunmole looks like, on one level, it looks like reproach. It looks like things might be going wrong. It looks like you can't make it out of the problem that you are in. I want to give another example, not of reproach, but of example where people may be out of alignment and lacking favor with the Irunmole. Ifa says in Odimeji, only one strand of string was used to suspend the earth. These were Ifa's declarations to Oniki Ola. When looking for an ideal husband, she was advised to offer a bow. She refused to comply. She then gave birth to Jiogbe in Otun Town, and Oyeko Meji in Apa Town, and Iwori Meji in Igodo Town, and Odi Meji in Eju Town. Offering to Ifa or offering a bow is very supportive. And to give Eshu or Eru to Eshu is very rewarding. Had Oniki Ola been offering a bow before it was too late, she would have spent her money. Had she known before it was too late, she would have spent her money on offering a bow for her life to be more fruitful. So let's talk about who Oniki Ola is and what makes her behavior a challenge or an affront to the Irunmole. So Oniki Ola was a woman And at this time, she went for Ifa consultation, and the Babalao told her what she needed to do Ifa. And the Babalao said, "This is the Ebo." Gave her the Ebo, and he also gave her advice of what you're looking for a good husband figure. You need to change your attitude. You need not be so stubborn. You need not have something extra added to say when someone says something to you. You shouldn't find fault in what people are saying, and especially your husband. So change and soften your attitude and offer a bow, and you will have a great life. You will have a great husband, and so on. But without offering a bow and without changing your attitude, what will happen is you will go from partner to partner, relationship to relationship, because after you may have a child, your husband or your husband's family may be so angry with your attitude that they will want a divorce. She thought Onikola thought the ebo was too expensive. She thought that the Babalao was insulting her by telling her the advice that he was giving. So what ended up occurring? Onikiola left the Babalao's home in a huff. She refused to offer a bow. She refused to change her attitude. Not too long after, she met a man, and she was attractive, and she met this man, and she fell in love. She fell in love, and they formed a relationship and got married. She had a child. The child's name was Ed Yog Bay. She gave birth to this child in Otun Town. And shortly thereafter, her real traits of her attitude really began to show. She started being extremely disrespectful to her husband and extremely disrespectful to her husband's family. She wouldn't work. She wouldn't do the things that she needed to do to maintain the relationship, to maintain the good that this family had also brought to her. Shortly thereafter, the family members began to say, get her out of here. They basically divorced Oniki Ola. And she ended up leaving that town and leaving that child in Otun. She met a man in Apa town and gave birth to another child, Oyeku Meji, there. Married that husband, and then didn't change her attitude, didn't learn from the first mistake, and she kept having this stubborn attitude that the world owed her something. And not too long after, that family got angry. Her husband got angry and wanted a divorce. Then she left that relationship and went to Igodo town. And there she had the child known as Iwori Meji. When she had Iwori Meji, that relationship went sour as well because she didn't change her attitude. She didn't transform who she was. She still didn't learn her lesson. She left that relationship, left that child there, and went to Edutown. And when she got there, married a man and gave birth to Iwori Meji. When she gave birth to Odi Meji, she gave birth to Odi Meji in Edutown. Once she gave birth to that child, and she continued to have that negative attitude. And that family was like, mm-mm. And after all was said and done, many years later, Onikiola realized, this is exactly what the Babalawo told me 20 years ago. That Awo told me the truth. He told me if I didn't change my attitude and I didn't offer a bow and I didn't learn how to be a decent person, I would have 4 babies for 4 different men, 4 different families in 4 different places, and I would be going back and forth, relationship to relationship. This is one aspect of what it looks like to be out of favor with the Irunmole. We talked about Adabi, and in this regard, what I want to keep it in a space where these are things that we do to ourselves, right? Adabi, something that we may have done to ourselves or done to someone else, and then that happens, but it is ultimately the fault of us or the fault of our ancestors. Onikiola, she was stubborn. She didn't listen to Ifa's advice. She was unwilling to change. She didn't have a good attitude. She was just a terrible individual when it came to relating to people and building. That was her problem. So, what Ifa is also saying, if you want to gain favor with the Irumole, do what they love. Listen, be flexible. Don't be stubborn. Don't be unwilling to listen to authority figures or people in positions who can advise you. Stop and listen. Be flexible. Don't be stubborn. So now let's talk about this second point. How can you determine when an individual is receiving favor from Olodumare and the Irumole? What does it look like to be within the favor? What does it look like to be beloved of the Irumole? Ifa says in Obar Agutam, I reap benefits at home, and I also reap benefits at the farm. These were Ifa's declarations to Akisami, the offspring of Ikoriaga, when he set a trap, and the front stroke took 20 animals, and the back one took 30 animals, and the middle one took 50 animals. He pulled down a creeper plant in order to use it as rope, and 16 land snails fell down at his feet. When he opened his mouth to exclaim, honey fell into his mouth. When he returned home, his pregnant wife had delivered a set of twins. He declared, my life is as like that of the Alafin. Before long, not too far, join us in receiving our Ire. So when we look at this verse of Akinsami and Obaregutam, what's happening? We have a man who at first he set deadfall traps for a living. And he set traps to catch animals in order to make his daily bread. And he did this, and many times he would never catch anything. He went for Ifa consultation, and the Babalao said that, yep, it is not yet time, but your time is coming soon. You need to just keep the faith. Offer a bow, and I'm telling you that one day, everything that you have prayed for, everything that you have asked for, everything that you have toiled for will come to you in one day's time. So Akinsami put his cowrie shells together and he offered the abo. And he followed the advice of the Babalao. Interestingly enough, he went back out there to catch animals, and the abo did not work immediately. It wasn't like, oh, I offered a bow and then everything's great. No, he did his bow. Next day he went out, nothing. Went out the next day, nothing. But oh, on that fateful day, on that one day, that one interesting day, Akinsami went out and the front trap took 20 animals. Um, the the back trap took 30. The middle one took 50. He went home with 100 animals. So he reaches up to get a creeper plant to tie the animals up so he could bring them back home to sell. And then he grabs the plant, and then 16 land snails fall down. So all of these resources are, in essence, wealth, things that he can sell. And so 16 land snails fall down at his feet. And he was so excited. He's like, yes. And he looks up in the sky, and then honey falls into his mouth. There's a honeycomb up above. So he goes back home with 100 animals, 16 land snails, and a honeycomb. So you can imagine how Akinsami was strutting on his way home. When he finally gets home, because he had been gone for weeks, his wife was pregnant, and then she gives birth. They thought it was one baby, and she gives birth and actually had two. So twins, Ibeji, also means wealth. When a family has twins, it is a sign of wealth. It is a sign of literal Orisha. So he was so excited. He was yelling and screaming that my life is like that of the Alafin. Like he was saying, I'm like a king. I feel like a king today. And as he was saying this, his neighbors heard. They were like, oh, what? Akinsami is saying that he is the king. And as soon as that occurred, his the king was notified and he was apprehended for treason. And he was set in court, and he was basically being prepped for extermination, for execution. So as he was waiting to be judged by the Alafin comes out and he says, what's up? What's going on? They said that you're impersonating me. And Akinsami said, no. In actuality, and one day I hadn't caught in all these years, I had never caught an animal. And in one day I caught 100. I got 16 land snails all in the same day. And then honey, I got a honeycomb. And then I went home, and then my wife had given birth to a set of twins. I said that I feel like I am a king. And the Alafin himself thought, and he was like, this is not treason. This is something else. And when we look at this, what ends up occurring is Olodumare, in the midst of the favor that Akinsami is experiencing, when the bad comes, Olodumare transformed it. Eshu transforms this bad of him he's about to be executed because of some haters. And then the situation transforms, and the king, the Alafin, says, I'm not going to oppose this man because it is clear that he is blessed by God. He has the favor of God. So since he's got the favor, I want to add to the favor so I could get some favors too. That's what the Alafin does. He adds to the favor, adds flavor to the favor. And he basically says, you know what? Do you have a plot of land? Akinsami says, yes. Do you have a home? Akinsami's like, I don't have a home. I don't have really anything. The king says, I want to build you a home with 16 houses. And I demand that my builders will build this home. And one day, the king will bless you when you are in favor. When you are in favor of the Irunmole, something that looks like a curse, something that looks like a challenge will become the thing that catapults you to greatness and even greater greatness. So when we look at this, favor from the Irunmole looks like struggle, having purpose, not struggle for punishment purpose. It is realizing the lesson within the problem. Many of our issues sometimes is that problems oftentimes are moments. And these problems are moments, and the moment is a challenge. And it's an invitation to get us to investigate deeper. That investigation will then lead us to favor. Example, if a person is diagnosed with a disease that the United States Medical Federation or whatever, they say, oh, you got a slim chance. Investigate. Let us go to IFA. And then what happens if the medical department says, oh, you got 6 months to live, but IFA says you got long life? What's the issue here? Let's investigate. Perhaps what IFA is saying, change your life, change your diet, stop eating these processed foods, stop doing this bad behavior. Perhaps that is what IFA is saying. It is the challenge that leads us to the blessing. When we see that, the things that might seem to be curses might really be stepping stones that will assist us in transforming our lives. Might be the investigation or the invitation to investigation that will lead us to blessings. When we look at this, I'm coming to my third point, the final point. How does one get favor from Olodumare and the Irunmole? So the first thing in terms of how does one get favor is another question. Are you living your divine appointment? Are you living your destiny? Are you living your destiny? Is that what's happening? If you aren't living your destiny, if you're trying to be in someone else's destiny, perchance, things cannot go as they need to go. Perhaps you will continue to challenge, because remember, out of favor is also something that we do to ourselves. Ifa says in Idi Atago, this actually is the Odu for our Itarogum this month. Ifa says, Orumila declares it is time to rest. I responded, it is time to sleep on top of someone. Ifa says that who is dependable enough to sleep upon? I responded that our parents are dependable enough to sleep upon. Orumila declares that at this time, that they are not worthy enough for one to sleep upon. Orumila declares that it is time for rest. I responded that it is time to sleep on top of someone. Ifa says, who is dependable enough for one to sleep upon? I responded that my spouse is dependable enough for me to sleep upon. Ifa says, your wife, your husband, they are not dependable enough to sleep upon. I never knew my spouse was not worthy enough to sleep upon at all. Orumila declares that it is time to rest. I responded that it is time to sleep on top of someone. Ifa says, who is dependable enough for one to sleep upon? I responded, my children. They are dependable enough for me to sleep upon. Ifa says, your children are not worthy enough to sleep upon at all. I declare my ignorance. Who is dependable enough to sleep upon. Ifa, if you program me to be wealthy, Ope Ogunka forever, I will continue to sleep upon you. Ifa, if you program me to be blessed with good children, Ope Ogunka forever, I will continue to sleep upon you. Ifa, if you program me to be blessed with all good things of life, Ope Agunka, forever, I will continue to sleep on you. When Ifa says sleep upon, what Ifa is saying, rely upon, lean on. It's not just, okay, let me sleep on top of this person. No, Ifa is saying, who is stable enough for you to let it all go, for you to release, for you to rest your back upon. The bed might have a squeaky broken leg. Ifa says, let Ifa be your bed. Let Ifa be your chair. Let Ifa be the support system. You understand? That's what Ifa is saying here. That these individuals, they're good, but they might, they might have a momentary lapse in the time of need. Will never let you down. What Ifa is also saying is completely submit. When you relax, you are putting your hopes and dreams upon that. You ever saw that situation where people say, oh, I'm about to do a trust fall, and then they fall back, and then you got to catch them? In this regard, Ifa is the support system that's actually catching people. I remember when I was younger, when I was a kid, I remember I would run down the steps and I see my father when he walked in the door, and I just jumped because it was not, there was no doubt in my mind that he would catch me. This is the trust that we need to have for Ifa. How do we gain favor by the Irunmole? How do we do this? We have to have that same trust. We look at this and let's analyze the general characteristics of Omoluabi. Omoluabi is basically a child born of good character. When we look at this, I want us as people in America to also look at what is Omoluabi. It's also Eneyan Gidi, which is a good person. But we gotta get the definition of what a good person is, because it's ambiguous. When we look at this idea of the good person in American law, the legal system says the reasonable person. Who is this reasonable person? The ideal person, the ideal human. Ifa defines it as a person who is dedicated to Ifa, a steadfast person, a dedicated person to God, a person who has qualities of being hopeful. They have a general optimistic attitude, a person that is benevolent. They share and give, a person who is truthful. They speak the truth. They are humble. They don't think too high of themselves. They always take a moment and let me analyze and apologize, or what could I have done differently? The Omoluabi is also a patient person, a person who takes their time and is very patient. They look at things from all angles before they make a judgment. They don't rush into a situation. An Omoluabi person is understanding. They try to get to the place where we get an understanding. Folks say overstanding. They get to an understanding, a place where there's congruency, there's harmony. Their ultimate goal is to perpetuate and bring about harmony into the world. And Ifa says that uh, an Omoluabi person is honest. Like you can be a truthful person. Yes, I stole the car. Honesty would keep you from stealing in the first place. When we look at this, these characteristics of Omoluabi are the ways in which we gain favor. Last but not least, how? What does this look like? Let us analyze the Odu Ifa Ogunda. Ifa says the body of water is flowing into the sea. The body of water is flowing into the lagoon. The tiny bat flew, but he did not touch the water and he did not touch the ceiling. This was Ifa's message for Igbo, who was the Oluwo of Isaluaye. This was Ifa's message for Igbo. Igbo Ifa, I have, when he was told to offer a bow, Igbo Ifa, I have become your Igbo slave. The body of water flowing into the Igbo Sea, Ifa, I have become your Igbo slave. The body of water flowing into the Igbo Lagoon, Ifa, I have become your Igbo slave. The tiny bat flew but did not touch the ceiling. Igbo water, Ifa, I have become your Igbo slave. Ifa, I have become your Igbo slave. This was Ifa's message to Igbo. Igbo, I have come and become your Igbo slave. Who was the Olu war of Isaluaye? What is Ifa saying here? I don't want folks to get tripped up by I become your Igbo slave. What is Ifa talking about here? Total submission to Ifa. Total submission to Olodumare. Making Olodumare, making Ifa the compass of your life. Making Ifa and Olodumare the GPS system for the road of your life. That's what Ifa is talking about when it says, I am your slave. This is not a slave. This is, I am willingly submitting myself to you. Ifa, to you, Olodumare, I have willingly put myself under your care because I know you know best. So gaining favor from the Irunmole is that. When you think of this, if you put yourself into a beloved position, when you put yourself under the protective umbrella of Olodumare, of the Irunmole, you exhibit these characteristics. And some hater out in the world wants to talk smutty on your name. Don't you know that Olodumare, that the Irunmole, Eshu, Ogun, Shango will take it as a personal offense? These individuals in the world, man, I want to do that person in. I want to take them out because I don't like their face. And they enact their plan. And you are in alignment with Olodumare. Don't you know that Olodumare will take that as an offense? Eshu will take that as an offense? Like, what? Wait, they're trying to take out my child. They're trying to take out my beloved. And what do you think happens to those who come against the ones who God loves? The ones who Eshu loves, the ones who the Irunmole loves. And can't nobody do you like Eshu. Can't nobody do you like Shango. in the blessing business or the other way. So, in closing, I ask us all to take on the challenge, to take on the mantle of submitting ourselves completely to the will of the Irunmole. What do the Irunmole want? What do they love? What does Olodumare love? We talked about those characteristics. Exhibit those things, and then we will have favor. That is how you answer the call. So let's answer the call this week. Ashe. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Let me get into these comments. So many people made comments. So let me jump in here. Thank you all once again for joining us. This has been a really good week. I think that this was very informative. And I want to make a couple of announcements. Hey, Abo Shishaboto, Shantae, Abo Shishaboto, Ifaleke. All right. Ire Wolede. Abo Shishaboto. All right, Allison. Hey, thank you. Thank you. All right, Miss Jan C. Rod. Boroye. Aboroboye to you. Ade Tutu. Abo Shishaboto. Yes, Ashe. Ashe. Thank you, Dinah. Abo Shishaboto. Ashe. So I don't want to lose my place. I'm just trying to give everyone their acknowledgments. Thank you for joining us. Those of you on the gram, thank you. Hey, what's up? Ade Aboraboye. Thank you. Yes, it's my Odunifa as well. So this is today is my Odun, which is my Ifa birthday. Hey, good seeing you yesterday, Ifa Bamila. Thank you so much. So, in terms of this, um, thank you, Ia. So, in terms of this, what I wanted to say is we've got a couple of announcements. One announcement is um, we are featured, or I myself and some other Babalaos are featured in this wonderful exhibit at the Fowler Museum at UCLA. It's called The House Was Too Small. And it is an exhibit on Ifa and Orisha within the diaspora. So I think it's free to go there. So what I would suggest, please go there, take a look. It's very interesting, very enjoyable, and informative. Take your kids. It's something that will help us as folks within the diaspora to kind of see the beautiful dimensions of Ifa and Orisha tradition, like how our ancestors brought it into the new world. You know, it's a beautiful rendition. So hopefully you all will be able to go see that. It will be up until June. Also, those of you who are interested, the other work that I'm doing is I'm curating a doll show, and it's going to be a unique kind of doll show. It's based upon um, African American hoodoo tradition or conjure tradition. And so we're going to be doing that at the William Grant Still. That will be going up at the beginning of December. So I'll keep you posted on that. And we've just had our Itadogun. The Odu is Idiatago. So those of you who are interested in participating in Itadogun, you can send your money or donations. And also, if you like what we're doing here at Edinka, please, please like and share these videos. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, your loved ones. I think these messages, the information, thank you so much, is important. Also, along with this, thank you so much, Baba. Along with this, I would say that yeah, if you like what we're doing, please support it. Support it. You know, you can send any donations. And also, I was going to say, every first and third Friday, we have conversations with Ifa. It is totally donation based, and where people can kind of join in and participate in learning about Ifa, learning about Ifa and what Ifa is, and just formulating community, either cyber community or community in person. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we will be able to go live and in person here in Los Angeles, and you all will join us there as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. And also, as I said, I think we've mentioned that this is my Odun, so I'll probably be posting pictures up of the Oduni file. We're so happy. I'm happy. You know, I made it this amount of time, and I'm still studying and still learning and blessed by Ifa with my parents. Thank you for my parents' life, my mom and my dad. Thank you for my wife, my children, um, my sister, my loved ones. I thank Olodumare for all of those things this year. It's been such a blessed year. Had a new son. Thank God for him and my other sons. Thank you for that. So all of these things are extreme blessings. You know, we've seen some some challenging times, and we've been able to weather it. And I personally think that I'm a living example. So those of you who know me, you know what I'm talking about. A living example of being able to uh, live through and sustain through some things that could have knocked you up off your feet. And you know, the story's not over. So, folks, please hold on. The story ain't over. This is sometimes if you are experiencing a challenge, it's just a footnote, and the destination is coming. So, with that, thank you so much. I want to end with prayer. All right. Olodumare, we thank you for life. We thank you for health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. We thank you for blessing us and giving us this day and giving us this message. We ask that you would continue to seek favor. Help us to continue to put us ourselves under the protective umbrella of Olodumare's love, so that that will insulate us and protect us from the challenges of the world. I bless you this week. I pray that everybody is doing good and sustained, and we love you. We'll see you on Friday. We're going to have class, so hopefully you can join us. Aboraboye, aboshishe aboto.